Welcome to Ask an Innovator, guys. I am super fired up right now. I'm going to do something that I've never done before. Farhan Yousaf, Cole Snell, this is Ask an Innovator. I'm doing something that I have never ever done before. Usually before the show, we ask guests to send us a little bio. I take that bio and, as most of you know, do a wordy kind of little intro monologue. Dissect our guest Farhan's bio. I read Farhan's bio last night. I couldn't dissect it. I'm going to read it word for word. There's a reason. He's done a lot. You need to hear it. Here we go. Farhan Yousaf grew up in Qatar and began his journey as a social rights advocate 9 years ago when he arrived in Canada as an international student. Farhan holds a diploma in mechanical engineering technology from Nova Scotia Community College and will be a bachelor's in mechanical engineering at Lakehead University this fall. Farhan is currently serving his third term as Vice President, Finance and Operations for the Lakehead University Student Union, LUSU, longest serving Vice President in the history of LUSU. Over the past several years, Farhan has been a social justice advocate in Thunder Bay community and beyond, and is driven by his deep belief in the importance of empowering young people. Farhan was awarded the Thunder Bay Respect Award in March 2017. The Respect Award is one of the most prestigious awards to an individual or organization that promotes attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors that recognize the importance of human dignity. He was one of the first international and racialized members to receive this award for his work on diversity and inclusion, leadership, and innovation. That word, innovation and community engagement. Farhan was also awarded the Lakehead University Luminary Award, the first and only international student to receive this award. Farhan is also the recipient of Northern Ontario Visionary Award, NOVA, for under 20 top 40 individuals in Northwestern Ontario. Farhan has been part of several communities in the city of Thunder Bay and University. He sits on the Nana Bijou Daycare Board and is a member of Lakehead University's Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Task Force. Farhan spends his time speaking at different schools across Thunder Bay, spreading the message of inclusion and diversity. I'm almost done. You gotta hear a little bit more. His work as an advocate has primarily focused on issues affecting racialized and international students and refugees settling in the Thunder Bay area, where he is celebrated as a mentor and friend. Much of his work over the past 4 years concerning refugee issues has been exercised through his seat as executive member of the Student Refugee Program at Lakehead University. A proponent of World University Service, Farhan is also the first racialized individual to be elected as chairperson for the Northern Caucasus Canadian Federation of Students, overseeing universities totaling 642 students. In addition, and I'm winding it up, in addition to his studies and social justice work, Farhan is passionate about soccer and has mastered the art of making South Asian kulfi, also known as homemade pistachio ice cream. Okay, wow, my mind is blown. Do you want to just talk about ice cream all day?
Why not?
Right on. We could talk about ice cream.
We got the perfect weather for ice cream.
We got the perfect weather. We could just make it outside.
Yeah, let's do it.
You've done a lot.
I try to.
Wow. Absolutely amazing. I rarely ever read an entire monologue. I kind of messed it up a few times there, but I think I got the point across. Of all the things that you've done, which is the one award you're most proud of?
Oh, it'll have to be the Respect Award.
The Respect Award.
The Respect Award, yeah.
Tell us about the Respect Award.
Respect Award was back in 2017 at the Diversity Thunder Bay Breakfast. That takes place every year. And it was my first award. It was in front of 500 people at Valhalla.
Wow.
I was nervous. I didn't know. I was sitting there. They called my name up, and for a moment, I just paused and I was like, is this real?
Is this everything just stopped?
Yeah. So then I had to walk across, and I remember when I was speaking too, I was shaking, and but yeah, that has to be the highlight.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And how many years ago did you win the Respect Award?
So that was 2017. So that was last year.
Last year.
Yeah. So it's been 2017. It's been a year now, over a year. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So
well, let's dive in. We're going to talk about your awards, your accomplishments, and like I said, I just had to let our viewers, our diehard innovators, understand exactly what it is we're dealing with here. True innovation, truly courageous, coming from Qatar 9 years ago, arriving in Canada. You've been in Thunder Bay now for about 5 years?
Yeah.
About 5 years.
Yeah.
So here's my question that I love to ask everyone.
Yeah.
Thunder Bay, glass half empty, glass half full, or are we happy just to have water?
I think we got a lot of work to do.
I like the big breath in. That was honest right there. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that we got a lot of work to do, but we have individuals who are moving the city in the right direction, and I think there has been some progress made. So I don't think we're just happy with water. I think we need we need to do more, and I think we are heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
So definitely, I see a bright future for Thunder Bay if we continue on this path.
Maybe not water. Maybe we need a protein shake.
Maybe.
Maybe we need to shake things up a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
I think we do. I mean, we have shakers and movers in Thunder Bay who are doing some great work. So I think if we continue on that path and we empower more and more young people, we can see definitely a brighter future for the city.
We've been trying to get together for the last few weeks, and you mentioned that you were off to Qatar for a few days, maybe 7-10 days, something like that. 7-10
days, yeah.
What is it like when you go to a city like Qatar, and then a country like Qatar, excuse me, and then come back to Thunder Bay? What's the juxtaposition? What's the outside of the obvious cultural differences? What's the energy? What's the energy?
Well, first of all, I went to Qatar and I came back, so it was literally from plus 25 to minus 25.
That is something to do with it.
But it's different. Qatar is very unique, and Canada is very large. Qatar is very small, so it's very concentrated. There's one big city. There's lots happening everywhere. There's lots of people. And the city never sleeps. I mean, you can go out at night at 4 or 5 in the morning too, and everything is open. People are still moving around.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a different feel. When I first came, a lot of people asked me, was culture a shock? And I said, I don't think a culture was shock, because it is a very diverse country, Qatar itself. There's over 60 nationalities that are in the country. They're working. For me, the weather was obviously a big change, but in terms of there's slight differences, in terms of how people do business, in terms of how they do things and stuff. But overall, I think we live in a globalized world, so I don't think that there's much difference anywhere anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot of your awards and your accomplishments have been built around racialized issues, racialized concerns, achievements. Talk to us from that perspective about Thunder Bay.
I think there's strength in diversity, and I've always said that when we have diverse workforce or diverse groups, there's more ideas, there's more innovation, there's more collaboration. So Thunder Bay, when I first came here, was still somewhat opening up to different cultures.
Yeah.
There was a shift in the city, but now we have when you walk around, you see different people all around the place, and that's a result of the institutions, educational institutions bringing in students, but also the hospital, the city itself attracting people from outside to come and work here. So definitely we see that changing, and I think it's important to teach that to people, why it's important to have diverse workforce. We see that in other bigger cities, in Toronto and Montreal.
Yeah.
Those places are very diverse, and you can see that the results of diversity and how much they've advanced and how much they've moved forward. And I think Thunder Bay needs to adopt that too, and they are adopting it to move forward and stay with times, I guess.
Yeah, stay with times.
Yeah.
Are we behind the times? Or are we on time? I don't think we're ahead of the time.
I think we're all over the place. I think we're behind time, we're on time, and we're ahead of time.
Yeah.
And so it depends on which area we're looking at, but I think we are moving there. I think for it is a sleeping giant, and for the longest time we've just been sleeping. We're waking up right now. There's a lot of potential in this city. There's a lot of geographically we're located in such a key area. So I think if we tap into all those resources that we have around us and the people, then we are definitely going to go ahead of time.
Yeah.
But right now, I think we're kind of all over the place.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Right. We're going to come right back. That was amazing. Yeah. I'm pumped up. I'm fired up. That was one segment. We just blew through that amount of time. We're going to be right back. Ask an Innovator, Farhan Yousaf. We're going to dive into some innovation. Be right back. Welcome back to Ask An Innovator. Still fired up. We have a true innovator, Farhan Yousaf. Farhan, at the break, we talked about one more achievement, your relationship with Patty Haidu. Tell us about that.
Patty's a wonderful person. I look at her as a mentor, and I think what she's achieved is amazing, and what she does for this region, for this city, is exceptional. And I don't know how she gets time, but she's everywhere.
Sure.
When you follow her on social media, she's all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, she makes time for events in the city too. So wonderful person, great mentor, and I, you know, just doing great work.
She awarded you with something?
Yeah, so this was for this was last year for Canada's 150th celebration, and so there were 20 pins, if I'm not mistaken, that were awarded to 20 individuals in Northern Ontario, or in city of Thunder Bay. And I received one of those pins, and I was the only non-Canadian to receive that pin for my work in the city.
Amazing.
So it was a great achievement, very happy. I told my parents, they were very happy too. So
amazing.
yeah,
I bet. They must be super proud of you. Yeah.
Yeah, so
remarkable.
That was last year.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact time, but
anyway, congratulations.
Yeah.
And so we've spent about a segment and a half talking about how fantastic you are. You've done a lot. Let's dive into the guts a little bit of kind of what makes you work. What drives you? What do you do to stay sharp? What do you do to help yourself achieve these goals on a personal level, on a spiritual level? Where do you stand?
So. Interesting question. I think everyone has a different way of approaching on what they do. I have things that I like and that helps me relax and stuff. This is very odd, but I like washing dishes.
Yeah, that is odd.
So you know, that's my
awesome.
calm down, just relaxing. I like cooking.
Yeah.
I love soccer. I'm a huge soccer fan.
Yeah.
So you know, I try to make time for soccer. I play in 2 different leagues every week. So that is for me a break where like I can be myself. I feel like I can just run onto the field.
Yeah.
Still a little kid, you know, just running all over the place, and I like that, and that helps me, you know, stay sane. And
it's interesting that you talk about soccer, because you're a very inclusive man. You like to involve a lot of people. You work in community.
Yeah.
Soccer is a team sport.
Team sport, exactly.
A lot of people on this show go to the gym.
Yeah.
The gym is not a team sport, but you go to play soccer, also an inclusive activity.
You know what? I've tried gym several times. I get bored because I go into a closed space and you can't do anything, and I need to move around and do that. So that's kind of what I do with my work too. I'm constantly moving around instead of sitting. So I find with soccer, I'm constantly moving. I'm not standing in one place just doing the same movements. I will try to get back to the gym.
So soccer sounds like it's very analogous with your actual life.
Yeah.
The metaphor of your professional life is that of your recreational life, playing soccer.
So I gotta do that. I got into soccer when I was a kid, and you know, just very passionate ever since. Yeah.
All right, let's break this down a little bit further. What position do you play when you play soccer?
Well,
I want to see if your position on the soccer field turns into how you are as a community member.
I started off as a defender.
Right. Okay.
And I've played as a striker too, but now most of the time I play on the wings.
Okay.
So I go on the sides. It's better for me to see the game from the side and then just come into the game.
Feeding the ball
feeding the ball in and seeing what's happening. And But I mean, we play a lot of indoor soccer here, so you have to move all over the place. But yeah. And you know, other things I do is I love nature. So often when I am feeling down or I have to clear my mind and stuff, winter or summer, I'll go out. I'll walk around, and we're surrounded by nature in some way. I've always been a fan of going out into the wild and just getting away from all the city life and all the noise and everything, and just clearing your head.
Yeah,
I know all these things are very cliche, but they work. They work for me.
Well, life is a cliche. I mean, for the longest time when I was younger, I used to fight cliches. I didn't think they applied. I thought I was going to create my own. And I woke up, fell on my head a couple times, and realized I'm human.
work.
I'm a living, walking cliche.
Yeah,
All the rules apply.
All the rules, exactly. You're right.
Yeah.
They work, and it works for me, and I'm sure it works for a lot of other people too.
Yeah.
Right. So
absolutely. The now spiritually speaking, we had a really interesting conversation yesterday. We talked about Islamic thought.
Yeah.
Interest rates.
Yeah.
Do not apply.
Right.
Food is something that I'm very passionate about. I'm also very recently passionate about finance and money. We had a neat conversation about money, and you blew my mind about interest rates.
Yeah. So I don't know much about the full depth into the principles of the whole concept, but I know that in Islam we're not allowed to accept interest, and we're not allowed to charge interest either. So if I was to give you money and you had to pay me back, I wasn't going to be like, hey, Cole, you haven't paid me back in a month, there's $10 on top of it, right? Or if I was to deposit a certain X amount of money into a bank account and interest builds up, I can take my money back, but not the interest.
Yeah.
Islam is very, what's the word I'm looking for? Charity. Charity is very important.
Right.
And it's one of the 5 pillars of Islam. So, so you have to give charity every year. There's a set amount that every Muslim has to give in charity. So that could be your choosing.
Wow.
The Thunder Bay Mosque here works a lot in promoting harmony and diversity, and they've set up bursaries at the university for Indigenous mothers. They do the winter drive where they put scarves all across the city on bus stops. So there's a lot of work that the community does, and we're a small community, so we all take part in that, and we believe in this is our home, so let's help people around us.
Yeah.
And that's a form of charity that a lot of people do.
Right. And how's the movement? How is the Islamic community? Muslim, is it in the community of Thunder Bay?
Our community shrunk a little bit with a few students that left recently, the Saudi students, but it's a very small community, very professional community. So most of the people here are doctors, professors, or engineers. They're working in the government, or they're students. So we had a couple of refugee families that came in, but the bulk of the community is still professionals. If you go to the mosque, you'll find every doctor there. So, so we are a small community. I would say around 300 to 400 people. If you add students, we're touching about 600, 500, but very small community, a very close-knit community. So
one of the things that I'm so fascinated about by Thunder Bay is just kind of looking at it at a helicopter view. Who Thunder Bay was 15, 20 years ago, very mining, pulp and paper driven. We talked about this yesterday. Now we have a law school, we have a medical school, we have a state-of-the-art hospital. We've kind of gone blue collar to white collar. And I thank a lot of landed immigrants and people who have naturalized themselves in Thunder Bay for that opportunity.
You bring up a really good point, and I have seen that transition too over the past couple of years within Thunder Bay, and I think that's just more and more people coming in, and a lot of people want to stay in Thunder Bay. They want to stay in the city, they want to stay in this region. Because they see a potential and they see that they can make a difference over here, and this is their home. So I guess that's where the glass water concept comes in. I think we have to innovate in certain areas and create more industry in certain places so we can keep some people over here.
Farhan mentioned making a difference. We're going to make a difference in the last segment. When we come back, we're going to ask my all-time favorite question for the would-be entrepreneur. You're going to hear it from what I think is one of the best in our community on what you need to do to get out there and innovate. He's going to break it down for you. Farhan Yousaf, be right back on Ask An Innovator. Welcome back to Ask an Innovator. I have my all-time favorite question queued up, and I might have my all-time favorite guest to answer this all-time favorite question. Okay, here it goes. Farhan, for the would-be entrepreneur sitting at home, challenged, fearful, not courageous to take that risk, to jump into the pool of innovation, They've got a great business idea, they've got a great concept, they've got a great community solution, but there's a disconnect from actually executing. What advice do you have for that person? What fear-facing initiative do you have for that person?
You know, my advice would be, and it depends, but I think get rid of that fear. It's easier said than done, but you gotta get out there.
Yeah.
If you have an idea, if you have a solution for something, get out there and talk. And if you don't want to get out there and talk with the general public, find a mentor. Find someone that find someone that you can talk to who can help you, guide you through this process.
Yeah.
But get out there and take a risk, because success is not going to come without risk.
Yeah.
There is risk involved, there is failure involved, and we've seen countless examples of innovators who have gone on doing things, and then most of the times they've failed.
Most of the times, yeah.
But then one time that idea comes through, and one time it's a success, right?
Yeah.
So that's innovation, right? Is the never giving up attitude. So you got to get out there, get rid of that fear, and just go and talk about it.
Right.
Talk about your solution. And if you don't want to talk about it in a larger group, go talk to a mentor,
That's it.
Get someone who you feel will understand you, what you have to say, and just go and talk to them.
Okay.
But you got to get out there. You can't have something happening by sitting on your couch.
That's it.
Yeah, right. Just keep thinking, oh,
Netflix, video games. It's probably not going to happen.
Yeah. It's good to criticize. It's good to talk about the solutions and everything. But then you have to get out there and do something too. You can't just talk. You gotta go take action. You gotta do something.
I'm hearing two things I'm hearing you say. Don't be afraid of failure. Find a mentor.
Yeah.
A mentor is almost like the tether for failure. It'll soften the blow, ease the landing, having that mentorship. Yeah. Easier said than done. Where do you find a mentor?
Everything that I have been able to do so far is not my own success. It's not my own work. I've had mentors throughout. My parents have been my mentors. My friends have been my mentor. And I've mentioned this many times. My good friend Ayub Ansari, who's guided me through a lot of different things. Later on there have been other people who have come in. I look to Michael Nitz, for inspiration. So all these people have come in and they've played a part. And sometimes you have had no interaction with some of these people, but you've seen them. You see what they're doing, and you get those ideas. So. Mentorship had played a huge role in my life, and I still have mentors at this stage. I still go, and sometimes I have to do something or I'm thinking of something. I'll go and talk to someone. What do you think of this idea? Should I go ahead with this or not? Should I go with this concept? So it's so important to find someone like that, and it doesn't have to be a professional. It could just be your friend, just someone that you can just bounce ideas off.
Yeah, they may not even know that they're a mentor. In your own mind, you may earmark them as a mentor.
Exactly.
They don't even need to know
They don't need to know, right?
Do you believe in the saying that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with?
Yeah, you're, the people that you surround with, that's who you become,
that's
right?
it.
So if you're around those people who are constantly striving for more, who are innovators and stuff, eventually you will have that same drive. And I did that. I changed my setting, and I started hanging out with people who wanted more, who were just not sitting and just, this is it. They wanted more, right? And we see that when you talked about are we ahead of time, in time, or behind time, and I said the city, there are certain areas where we're just content. And I think we need to get out of that mindset, and we need to go ahead. We need to be more adventurous. We need to be more innovative in certain things.
Some innovators and risk takers and fear facers, sometimes the biggest antagonists in their life are their friends and their family. These are the hardest people sometimes to impress, and they're the quick to shoot down a good idea.
And if you impress them, then you're gone. Like
then you're gone.
Then you're. But I also think that at the end of the day, you have to do what is best for you. Keep in mind that you're not impacting others, you're not stepping on others, but do what is best for you, what you see is best for you, as long as it's not harming other people.
I love it. Serving other people.
Exactly.
Power of service.
And service is not just social justice. In everything that you do, you're serving someone, right? Whether you're working at a bank, you're at a police station, you're a fireman, you're a doctor, you are doing something to serve someone, right? And that should be your number one goal.
Right.
So even as an innovator, you're serving someone, you're serving people, you're finding a solution.
Yeah. The power of service is really an untold truth in so many different ways. And the idea of being favorably selfish, serving yourself, keeping yourself in optimum state of mind, optimum health, leveling up, changing your friendships, changing your association, so you can be of better service to whoever that is, your community, your family,
absolutely,
your sons, your daughters, what have you. Yeah, it's
exactly.
It's very, very powerful. We have a couple minutes left now. I want to just get you to touch on a little bit about your why. We talk about your why. Why is it that you do what you do? The why is central. The peripheral to the why is the how, and then peripheral to that is the what.
The what?
What is it, and then how it's done. Why do you do it?
Why do I do it? I think it's just you know, when you look at my life story and where I was born and when I saw my parents and what they went through, I applied that to my everyday thing, and which is why what I do is why I do it, because I have seen what my parents went through, where I was born, and to put that into context when I come here and I'm doing all this stuff is I want to see people grow. I want to see people empowered, because I believe in empowerment of people. I think we can make a change when we empower people, when we empower individuals, when we empower youth. You're doing a change at the surface level. Once you make a change there, then you see the effect of it all the way to the top.
Are you planning on sticking around Thunder Bay for a little while? You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here in Thunder Bay. Are we going to be able to keep you for a while?
I like Thunder Bay, and I like to stay in Thunder Bay. But you know, we'll wait and see what happens.
You're a very cosmopolitan guy. You know, who knows where you end up.
I you know, Thunder Bay is the second longest place I've stayed in, so I definitely like it here, and let's hope that I find something that I can stay busy in and stay in Thunder Bay.
Awesome. I got one little thing I'm going to read here. It's not going to be nearly as long as the first thing I read. So there we have it. Farhan Yousaf just took Ask an Innovator to another level. Rarely am I stuck for words. Words do not give Farhan's achievements credence, as his actions are brave enough to see across a community and a globe. I mentioned hoping to keep you in our community because I know you're destined for the globe. This show in many ways was built to deliver his exact story, one to break it down and build you up. The prototype and the mold breaker. Farhan Yousaf's story right there was a showstopper. You have inspired me like few other. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Ask an Innovator. See you next week. Thank you very much.